Yeah. Okay. I want to jump right in, and I want to ask you, from your personal experience, and obviously you're coaching a lot of guys online. What are some of the worst things a guy can do during sex? Because I feel like it's something my audience would be interested in. They want to kind
Mm.
of avoid mistakes. So, from your personal experience, what were those?
Yeah, so I'll just say thank you for asking this question because something that I've experienced, and yes, women talk. So
Yeah.
I'm not speaking on just my behalf, but women don't necessarily voice out things we don't like or that we like. We just kind of stay quiet. You have to understand, for generations we were not allowed to say things. So, we want to, like, we don't want to upset you. So we don't say things, but we feel them. So what happens very often is that a woman stops experiencing the kind of sex that she enjoys, and this is why, kind of after maybe 5 years of being together, couples struggle because a woman doesn't really want to be having as much sex, and then like they come to me and like, oh, can you fix it? And so, yes, there are things that men kind of automatically do that really don't work for women. And the main thing for me, as women, we want to feel that you're attentive to us and that your focus is on us. Like, we're on the receptive end, so let us feel that. So sex actually should be about a woman. That doesn't mean that it's not about you, but you as a man, you source a lot of pleasure and satisfaction through her pleasure. It's different for women. We don't really need you to come to feel satisfied, but you as a man, your brain works differently. It's different parts of the brain that gets activated when you as a man are with a woman and she has or does not have an orgasm, how much pleasure she feels. So the more orgasmic she becomes, the more satisfaction you get. So make sure that she is satisfied and then you will feel better. So she kind of needs to be a center of attention. So anything that is the opposite of that really doesn't feel good. And I think something that men often do, and that's the porn culture, is the incredible obsession with the cock. And the bigger the better, the harder the better. And just like, this is the hero of the whole experience. And it's like, look at my cock, look how amazing it is. And I've had this, again, so many women had it, when it just like, it literally feels like a circle of adoration for your cock. And it's like, why am I even there? So this can be really like kind of douchey, but this can also be subtle. So things like, I don't know if you've ever said it to a partner, and anyone listening, if you guys ever said it, but kind of like a common sentence is, oh, you want to suck it, you want to suck it. And I'm just like, am I asking you the same question? It's like, no, if anything, please go down on me first and then let me choose. But it's like, it's this assumption that my cock is just so amazing and every woman would just, kill herself to be able to suck it, which means that you are praising your cock over her body. And
Hmm.
that doesn't feel good. And she's going to do probably what you want because she doesn't want to upset you, but she's not going to be satisfied. So if you make it all about your cock and your pleasure, and receiving doesn't really feel good. So it's all about kind of trying to switch that. So can you focus more on her? Can you ask her questions? It's like, hey, what would you like me to do? Do you like this? Would you like more of this, less of it? Like, allow her to feel that she matters and that what she wants really matter, and then it's gonna be fine.
Okay, interesting point. So you're saying, I mean, it's an obvious thing for me at least that when I see my woman is enjoying sex, it makes me enjoy sex as well. But you're saying that doesn't work the other way around?
It's not the same. It's not as important. So men are much more like receptive or responding to a woman, and
Hmm.
it's, we can discuss why this is happening, but if you just think like biologically, it's a bit like a man conquers a woman, right? Like,
Right.
women don't use the same vocabulary. So if you conquer a woman and then she doesn't really enjoy herself, then did you actually conquer? Did you win? Did you get
Hmm.
her? So it's a bit
Hmm.
like, if you, it's basically about like hitting the goal that you have. And the goal is to not just sleep with her, but to make sure that she like enjoys it, that she's getting something from it. It gives you this like feeling like, oh, I'm a man. There's so much pride that men take from giving a woman a pleasure. And the other is true as well. So if a woman doesn't orgasm, that usually really impacts men's sense of, masculinity and manhood and your confidence. So like a woman is not like, for a woman to be able to have a deep orgasm, she actually needs to go inwards and relax into her sensations. It's different. In fact, it's almost opposite. So we
Hmm.
of course love seeing our men come, and we love when a man kind of loses control and we're like, oh yeah, I made him. Like we all love that. It's just
Hmm.
that it does really impact, like on the biological level, it does impact our brains differently.
Okay, so let me get it straight. To focus more on you and on your own pleasure and less on his cock. I honestly, it's the first time I ever hear that, because for me personally, I'm always kind of trying to pay attention to the woman, but I'm not all guys, so I have no idea. So you're saying a lot of guys are just like worshiping their dick, because it sounds to me that when they say, "Do you want to suck it?" they're actually hinting that they want a blowjob. I don't know, maybe they need it or they want it, or or one of those two. So you're saying they should not say that and rather perhaps go down or do other things that might pleasure you.
So I'll just want to go back to what you said, that like you focus on your woman. But the
Yeah.
problem is that, I don't know about you, did you receive any good sex education?
No, zero.
Exactly. So oftentimes what we know about sex comes from porn, because it's like the only way that we get to see what it is. So whether we want it or not, we get impacted by this. And porn is hugely, hugely focused on men and the cock. And so without even realizing it, we kind of start just copying those behaviors. So I often, when I work with men, I often hear that they say like, "Oh yeah, I really care about my woman and I want to please her." But then when we go into details, I'm just like, "But that's
Mm,
not what women want." So your
mm,
intention is right. It's just that the execution isn't necessarily the correct one. Again, because women usually don't talk about this. This is on us, and this is something we really need to work with. So I'll start with this. Even if you think like that, you specifically, but anyone, right? Even if you guys think that, yes, I focus on a woman, like you have to be more sensitive to see if it's really working for her or not. So I would say this, and like questions and asking is great. One tip: when you talk about sex, don't ask yes or no questions, because they feel very threatening. So don't ask her, "Do you like it? Did you like it? Do you want it?" Because like saying no in this situation feels very vulnerable. So she's gonna say like, "Yes, yes, I liked it." So ask her more like, "How did you like it?" Or "How do you prefer it?" Or something like, "Would you like me to go faster or slower?" So she actually has to retune into herself and give you proper feedback. So I'll say
right.
this is like really, really helpful. But then the thing about the obsession with the cock, look, even see, so you will understand it way better even here, than I can, because like you're a man. So notice how men sit, right? Very often you guys open the legs. There's like so much attention on the cock, and it's not wrong. So when we look from like the yogic and tantric perspective, your genitals is the masculine pole in your body, meaning you penetrate the world with your cock. Women penetrate the world with our breasts, but not with our genitals. So it's
Oh,
natural that you feel super confident and that you want to project the energy of your sex center into the world. That's normal. It's just that when we are together, can you take the back seat? That's just basically this. Like, trust me, if she loves your cock, she's gonna do whatever she wants to do and you're gonna be very happy. If she's not doing this, then probably she doesn't wanna do it. So if you bring this up like that, it may feel a bit forced. So
hmm,
just try it, guys. Just try it. What if you didn't say anything about your cock? What if you didn't ask her to go, to give you a blowjob? Just see what she does. And if
hmm.
she likes it, she's gonna do it. And if she doesn't, then again, ask her a few questions like, "Hey, how do you feel about a blowjob? What was your experience so far?" Right?
Okay, yeah, that's very interesting to hear. But so, what can they actually do in terms of like
Mm.
practical things? Uh, what does focusing on their woman mean?
Like I said, honestly asking questions. Guys, don't be afraid to ask questions. And the question isn't, "Oh, do you like it? Do you like it?" That's not a question that's looking for validation. Like I said, open questions. Women love it.
Okay.
Women love talking. Guys, you know it. Women love talking. So ask us questions that allow us to talk and give you information that you want to have. That's number one. Number two, this is foreplay. And when it comes to foreplay, I always tell men this: what is foreplay for you is already sex for her. In other words, oral sex is not foreplay, it's already sex. She needs foreplay before oral sex. So true foreplay is getting her ready for oral sex.
Okay.
Foreplay, look, guys, I know I hear this very often. You're like, who has time for this? I'm like, please start making time for this. You're gonna get rewarded. But minimum 15 minutes before like you guys play in any way with oral sex. So 15 minutes, ideally even longer, but 15 minutes of touching her body, caressing her body, kissing her everywhere but the, genital space. Allow the body to relax and open. So you're building safety, you're building trust, and she gets to kind of warm up and she's like, wow, yeah, you're taking all of this time to give. Now I feel like you actually care. So now I am more happy, more willing to reciprocate. Now you
Mhm.
can, even better if you can extend the foreplay to half an hour. You can play some music, and I know that like this may feel a bit boring and you'll be like, but I would say to men, guys, time yourself. Like put a clock somewhere in the bedroom and just time yourself, because a lot of men think that like, oh, I take so much time with foreplay, and then you see it's like 6 minutes. So don't go below 15, I would say. So this will be the second thing. The third thing is so during sex, and you can tell me about this as well because you have the experience, I'm sure. When you guys are having sex, you're in this giving energy, right? So you're the one thrusting, you're the one penetrating, you're usually the one doing all the work.
Right.
So when you're giving, naturally you're not as receptive, you're not feeling as much because you're in the giving energy. So every now and then it's good to slow down or even pause. And in that moment, just actually, for a moment, don't focus on what you're doing and don't focus on what you are feeling. Just look at her and try to read her body. Is she tense? Is she contracted? How is her face? Like is the blood flowing everywhere in her body? Look for feedback to know where she is and then adjust what you're doing. So don't just do the positions and thrusting based on what you like, but watch her and try to
Hmm.
adjust. And again, keep asking. It's like, hey, would you like a different position? Which position would you like now? Something like this, so that she can be a participant. So I would say that these are like three important things. And for the last one is afterplay. So we have foreplay, we have afterplay or aftercare. And just make sure you hold her. Make sure you hold her,
Hmm.
that your face is directed at her, even if you need to close your eyes. But make sure you're facing physically your woman, because if you look away, it feels like rejection energetically and it just feels very cold. So make sure you're with her after sex, and then she'll be very happy. And this is already warming her up for the next time. So these will be the four things to do.
Okay, that's a good one. And the part for the after sex is quite interesting because we guys, like after sex, you probably heard the term post nut clarity, and I don't know what happens. It's like a switch in your hormones, and you're done. Like you don't feel being more physical, or and women are the opposite. They want to cuddle and they want to do all of that.
We want to
Um,
talk. This is the time to
y-
talk about everything.
yeah, you want to talk. So it's quite interesting, and you should actually consciously do it if you care for the woman that you're with, because I can only imagine after having sex, you like turn your back, and it feels like not just rejection, but almost a heartbreak. Like like the woman might feel like she's just been used, and all you
Yes.
cared about was just to have sex and not actually care about her. And I think,
Yeah. And if I may
sorry,
add
go
here,
ahead.
just one thing here, you guys, you may have the best sex with her that she's deeply enjoying and she may have multiple orgasms, but then how this ending happens can totally change her full experience. And often men are just not aware because, like you said, you guys need something different in most cases. Now, some women, depending on the type of an orgasm they had, they may feel the same. They'll be like, I'm done. Close her eyes and rest. But in majority of women, we have increase of oxytocin, which is the bonding hormone. So now we want to connect and talk. So I get it. You guys may not want to talk. You may not have energy for this. I get it. You may not have energy to look at her. So, like I said, just make sure you embrace her and you face her or place her chest, like her head on your chest, and kind of lean towards her, and that will feel fine. So you don't really have to do anything. You can even like fall asleep, but you're holding her, and that feels good.
Okay, that sounds great. That's great advice, and I think it's something that guys can actually do, because I know myself, like I'm not ready for any conversation after, especially not deep ones. I can't use my brain afterwards. So yeah, like just cuddling and being close, I think that can do the job.